One ticket. One ticket to paradise. Won't you take a ride with me tonight? I don't remember how the song goes. But yet, this is the intermission portion of the game. We are finally taking a break from looking at women having their stomachs cut open and having their uteruses taken out. I think that might be a good thing. I don't know about you guys, but to me that's kind of a good thing. I think anything where we're not having to experience that is probably good. So yes, we're finally back to some sort of normalcy. Like the title suggests, this is the intermission, or the short little intermission, because like I said, it's not over yet. We are about halfway at this point. We're about halfway through this game, so as always, just let me know what you guys think of this game in the comments. I know there are people that wanted to see me continue this playthrough, but definitely let me know what you guys think of this game so far. It is, I mean, I'm not trying to review this game in this video or anything, but I'm just giving kind of my general impressions, because I have played this game before, and I do think that this game is definitely underrated. It's a very, very graphic, very atmospheric game. It just does not get the attention that it deserves, in my opinion. Not enough people know about this, but it's a fucking crazy experience, I will say that. But anyways, enough of me babbling. Let's continue this. Nissan, it's this way. Unusually, Yukari has taken the lead, beckoning me to follow. With both my arms laden, I trail along behind her, glancing about at the surroundings. The cherry trees along the pond's edge are in full bloom, casting pale pink reflections on the surface. The flower petals flutter in the warm springtime breeze. You couldn't ask for a better day. Yukari spreads out a mat beneath one of the trees. I set down the stacked lunchboxes and bottles of sake, kick off my sandals and take a seat, crossing my legs. It's great the weather's so nice, huh? Yes, it really is. Yukari smiles as she opens the lunchboxes. Kamabako and surimi are neatly arranged inside. She got up early to prepare lunch. Which one to eat? I pick up some surimi and pop it into my mouth. Damn my unfamiliarity with Japanese food. What the? It's crunchy. Is it shrimp? It's grasshopper surimi. Why are you putting bugs in this? Blech! What the heck is she putting in these things? Oh, it doesn't suit your palate? I made it myself, though. Yukari gracefully eats the surimi with her chopsticks as though nothing is wrong. How can you eat those? They're delicious. They're sautéed hornet larvae and stonefly larvae surimi as well. God! What the fuck? Why are you putting bugs in these? Fucking weirdo. God damn, I do remember she likes keeping bugs in her room for some reason, but god damn, she made them into... she put them in these food. Ugh. God damn it. Okay, don't eat what your sister cooks. Pro tip, don't eat anything that Yukari ever cooks. I'll just stick with the rice balls and kamaboko. Yeah, hopefully she didn't put anything in there. I start to lay down, feeling just a little tipsy. Why are you getting drunk in the middle of a day? Why are you just getting drunk in the middle of a day? I guess, considering, you know, what he's been through, I guess that makes sense, but Jesus Christ. Just get drunk in the middle of the park. Get tipsy in the middle of the park, just eating lunch. Nissan, that's bad manners. Don't worry about it. Honestly. Even as she complains, Yukari quietly lends me her knee for a pillow. The gentle breeze blows by. There's a comfortable warmth. I wonder where that's coming from. The cherry petals dance about on the wind, tickling my nose. Yukari laughs as she plucks out the petals lodged in my hair. Nissan, did you fall asleep? Yukari speaks in an undertone as I lay silently, my eyes closed. Yeah, I'm sleepy. Opening my mouth to reply would take too much effort, so I'll just let myself drift off. And then I had a nightmare. Whoa! Sensei and Yukari are getting all lovey-dovey. Shh, he's tired, so let him rest for a bit. Yeah, it is kind of weird to be doing this with your sister, man. A voice calls out nearby. It looks like I fell asleep. That voice belongs to Tojiko? Ah, damn it, you again. Whoa, he's awake! When I open my eyes, Tojiko's face is looming over me. What, was I not supposed to wake up? Darn, I was thinking about drawing on your face, Sensei. Please don't do that. I sit up. How about it, Suzuriko? Would you like to try eating some? No. Hey, Sensei. Which ones are safe? Tojiko, of course, is quite familiar with Yukari's culinary practices. Those surimi should be fine. Or surimi. But I could swear I saw a grasshopper leg. It's just your imagination. What's wrong? Oblivious to our conversation, Yukari ferries the surimi to her mouth. How can you eat that? Those are the grasshoppers you collected from the rice paddy behind the academy last year, aren't they? Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's not happening. I can't really argue with her. Tojiko leans against a cherry tree and gazes up at the sky. It's so pretty. Dead bodies are buried under here, huh? That really takes away from it, doesn't it? That takes away from the prettiness of it. A quip from Motojiro Kaji? Ha! Well caught. Didn't you actually see a corpse buried under a cherry tree, Sensei? That's really not as easy as you'd think. Cherry trees old enough to bloom have their roots spread out all over the place, so digging up the ground is a pain in the ass. You've got no sense of romance. There's nothing romantic about it. Why don't you try dreaming up something a little more normal? Dreams, you say? That reminds me, my book's coming out. Whoa, that's great, isn't it? Just keep piling on the praise. So, is it steaming? Why is that all you want to know, you old fart? She kicks me in the side. Suzuriko, if you raise your leg like that, people will see your panties. Why the... Really? Fan service shenanigans. Suzuriko immediately flattens down the skirt of her uniform. Did you see them? Calm down, I didn't see him. I mean, if I did and I said something about it, I'd probably be arrested for being a fucking pedophile. Oh, but right, I mean, the age of consent in Japan is pretty different, so maybe he wouldn't. That night, I sit in my room, staring at the letter. My name's been beautifully inscribed with a brush. On the reverse side, in similarly beautiful script, she's written Kuchiki Toko. There's no postmark. Did she come all the way over here and drop it off? Well, let's have a look. I break the seal and pull out some stationery. An invitation? That's the title. On Monday, March the 26th, would you like to go to the art museum together? If that is acceptable, then I will be waiting at Kichijoji Station. She has a graceful writing style. This is the last thing I expected to hear from her, given our day-to-day interactions. Well, why not? I've got some free time. Time to go screw around to the art museum, I guess. So this is the slice of life chapter, I see. Here I am at Kichijoji Station, first thing in the morning. There's barely any people around. Hardly surprising, since the first train of the day hasn't come yet. Why am I here this early? Even though the cherry trees are blooming, it's still pretty cold at this hour. Oh, Tokisaki-san, so you came. Toko arrives, walking from the direction of the station. I can't really refuse a letter like that, can I? Well, I guess that means phase 1 of my mission was a success. Mission? Don't worry about it. Toko laughs innocently. It's cold enough to see her breath. So why did I have to come here this early? The art museum isn't open yet, is it? Well, the fact is, if we don't leave now, then we won't make it in time. Let's get going. Is there some kind of special exhibition? Well, you'll just have to come with me and find out. Toko grabs my hand and starts off. Are we gonna see the Karano Shoujo again? Toko. What is it? Toko replies without even a hint of shyness. Where are we? Can't you tell by looking? We're in Kurashiki. Kurashiki is in Ueno? No, you idiot. It's obviously Okayama Prefecture. What the hell am I doing in Okayama Prefecture? I wrote in the letter that I wanted to go to the art museum. Ah, come on. If we don't hurry up, it'll close. Toko seizes my hand after looking up at the station's clock. It's about 15 minutes to walk from here, so let's hurry up and get going. Hey. While I'm still struggling to get my bearings, she takes off, dragging me along behind her. So we went to a completely different art museum. Toko stops in front of a building reminiscent of the temples of ancient Greece. Ah, thank goodness, it looks like it's still open. This is the art museum? That's right, the Nakahara Art Museum has the largest collection of Western works in the country. Oh, so this is the place. I remember hearing a rumor that Kurashiki escaped the bombing during the war solely because of this museum. Well, that's because it'd be a great loss to the world if the works here were destroyed. Nodding as if that explains everything, Toko enters the art museum. Inside, the silence is absolute. I don't see any people around. It must empty out around closing time. Toko takes in the assorted masterpieces, a sort of hunger showing in her eyes. Monet, Renoir, Gauguin. There are numerous works by familiar artists. I'm not really in a position to judge their quality. What, you're not an art critic? What I can tell is that each one has a certain kind of inner spirit. It seems a number of Japanese pieces are also included. I don't see any by Mamiya Shinzo, though. A staff member politely explains to me that they are on loan to the Tokyo Metropolitan Art Museum. A short distance away, Toko appears to be hearing a similar explanation. Toko. As I approach, the staff member gives a bow and departs. That's amazing. So the paintings we saw in Tokyo are from this place? Yeah, that's what I heard too. Those paintings by Mamiya Shinzo are from here. It looks that way. I'm really glad we came. She nods, satisfied. Phew. Closing time comes and we head outside. Toko breathes a deep sigh. Was it worth the trip? Of course, all those famous works of art. That's good. I suppose it was worth it to come all the way out here. You're not angry? Toko lowers her voice. Huh? Me? Look, I suddenly hauled you out here without warning. Wasn't it a nuisance? Well, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't surprised. Yeah, I knew it. But no, I'm not angry. You had fun, right, Toko? Yep. Thanks. Let's go home, shall we? We might have to take the night train at this point. But there were no trains left. When we arrive at the station, Toko freezes. There's no night train? Looks like it left just 10 minutes ago. We might have made it if we hadn't stood around and talked. Toko looks up at me. What do we do? You're asking me? Look. It's not like we can keep waiting for a train that won't come, right? She's right, of course, but I checked the contents of my wallet. It's not exactly full, but there's a decent amount of money in there. I really don't want to end our trip by catching cold from standing around out here. Guess we've got no choice but to look for somewhere to spend the night. That's probably a good idea. Contact your parents. Thanks, but I'll be fine. Look, the last thing I need is to get slapped with a kidnapping charge, okay? I wouldn't mind being kidnapped by you, Tokisaka-san. That doesn't make it better. If anyone can claim to have been kidnapped today, it's me. We look for an end as we banter back and forth. We manage to track down an inn with vacancies. As we take the taxi away from the station, we're finally able to calm down a little bit. We kinda look like newlyweds, huh? What the heck are you talking about? Toko certainly does look mature for her age, but next to me, we look like siblings at best. She is Yukari's age, after all. Hey, not that that matters to you, Reiji. Oh, they have mixed baths here. Toko murmurs to me with obviously feigned surprise. I know where this is going. Isn't that nice? Why don't you go and take one, alone? Tokisaka-san, let's take one together. You knew what she was trying to get at, Tokisaka. Ah, for the love of... Don't act like you don't want to do it. So you're saying you don't mind if my body is seen by other people? That's not what I said. Then it's decided. Let's go. Her unilateral decision made, Toko takes my arm. I want to wash off all the sweat. I've been outside for the whole day. Hey, wait. Well, I doubt I could really have refused her. There are no other guests in the open-air bath. We strip down in separate changing rooms, and I enter the bath first. The parts I don't have submerged are quite chilly. If it were snowing, it'd be an elegant sight, the moon suspended alone in the sky. It's pretty chilly. I hear Toko's voice from somewhere beyond the rising steam. We shouldn't stay here for long. Yeah, you're right. Yep, pretty obvious the direction this is going to be going to. Toko sits down next to me. Wearing only a large towel wrapped around her, she glances over. Have your carnal desires awakened? She's covering her front with her hands. Don't be ridiculous. I give a non-committal answer before looking back up at the night sky. Tonight's a full moon, huh? Toko mirrors my action. It sure looks that way. The moon here in Okayama is beautiful as well. The moon's hazy on most nights in Tokyo. It's harder to see the stars now than it was in the past. Over here, the stars shine no less brilliantly than the light of the full moon. The past, huh? When I was little, before the war started, back then there was less streetlights. You could clearly see the night sky. I feel myself drifting off into nostalgia. I've lived at our house in Kinpokuji for ages, but the town's completely changed. The war turned Musashino into a patch of scorched earth. But only a few years later, buildings lined the streets, cars drove through, and the people came flooding in. Well, I suppose that all happened before you were old enough to understand what was going on around you. Yeah, you're right. Toko gives a little start and looks up. What's wrong? Feeling dizzy? Maybe. Toko brushes back her hair. Damp with water, it clings to her slightly flushed cheeks. Her melancholy expression sends a shiver through me. She has a woman's profile, one far removed from her actual age. Her smooth, slender hands and feet aren't hidden by that piece of cloth. That abnormally white bare skin. Tokisaka-san. Huh? Oh. Yeah, I was about to jump on that, sorry. Her voice jolts me back to reality. Are you sure you're not the one feeling dizzy here? I don't really think so, but this isn't good. I've got to calm myself. Down, boy. Taking long baths is dangerous as you get older. Don't treat me like I'm some old fart. But aren't you older than me? Yeah, quite significantly, actually. Sometimes I forget that you're a lot younger than I am. Oh? Toko wraps herself around my arm. I feel the sensation of soft flesh. Hey, you're now she's the one attacking you. Hey. It makes me happy to hear you say that, Tokisaka-san. Toko gives a sultry whisper as she presses my arm against her body. This girl might only be mature on the outside. Unbidden, the thought pops into my head. Because right now, isn't her tiny body trembling? I place a hand on her shoulder. Toko lets out a sudden gasp. Toko. Sure. She nods, ever so slightly. Oh god. Nope. It's time to skip. It's skipping time. You probably can't see the screen. That's because there's some tits and there's some vag, and we're gonna get through this. We're gonna skip all through this. Okay, so we made it past that. We made it past the sex scene. Probably only to get into another sex scene, because it looks like this is also going to become a sex scene pretty fucking soon. Considering the dialogue and the the way that Toko is looking right now. So, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of sex scenes in this game, and some of them I admittedly feel pretty unnecessary. Like, some of them are just kind of put in there for no real reason. But these I mean, at least feel necessary because Toko is supposed to be the main love interest here, so it makes sense. But yeah, there's probably going to be another one pretty soon. I hate the abundance of these in like such a short amount of time. It's like I have to do so much skipping. Toko snuggles up against me. Tokisaka-san, I think there's something weird going on with me. Weird? I've been feeling hot ever since earlier. Well, I wonder why. Do you have a fever? Reiji, why are you so stupid? Why are you so dumb? Come on now. You're like in your 30s. How do you not know about these things? Do you have a fever? No, that's not it. Look. Okay, probably time to skip again. Giving me a wry smile, Toko guides my hand between her legs. Yep, that's the signal. That's the bat signal. Time to skip. Okay, so that's hopefully over. Hey, Tokisaka-san. Toko straightens her rumpled yukata and sits by my pillow. What's wrong? Do you remember our promise? Promise? You mean your request? It springs to mind immediately. So you do remember. There's something I still haven't told you, Mr. Detective. What would that be? I get up and face her. I'm adopted. That's all. Did you examine your family register? She nods. I told you that I have a feeling that the person I am right now isn't the real me, right? I wanted to look for that reason. But I didn't think my answer would be so simple. She lets out a small, scornful chuckle. For a long time now, I've suspected that I wasn't part of the Kuchiki family. Someone probably took advantage of the chaos after the war and brought me over there. Does anyone else know about this? I haven't told my mother and uncle that I've looked at the family register. I don't want to make them worry unnecessarily. But if you're referring to my feelings, right now you're the only one I've told, Tokisaka-san. I see. But I haven't looked into anything else. That's why I want to ask you once again, Mr. Detective. I want to know who I really am. Her request made, Toko bows her head low. Since I'm finished with my job and I have time to spare, this time I'll give your request my full attention. Toko raises her face. Really? Yeah, of course I will. Thanks, Tokisaka-san. Her countenance slowly becomes cheerful. In the rare moments when she shows me that face, I think it's quite fitting for someone her age. It's about time we went to sleep. We have to get going early if we want to go home tomorrow, right? Yep, you're right. Toko nods, then slips into my futon. Hey, you've got one laid out for you over there. But it'll be warmer if we sleep together. Toko turns her face, peeking at me from my chest. Well, good night, Tokisaki-san. Don't do anything dirty to me just because I said I'm going to sleep, okay? I think we already did those things. We did those things like twice. Toko giggles, closing her eyes. Good night, Toko. After quietly whispering into her ear, I lend her my arm for a pillow and close my eyes. I feel her warmth and comfortable weight right up until I fall asleep. Tokisaka, something's poking me. Phew. Bathed in the dazzling light of the morning sun, I stretch my limbs as far as they'll go. What a refreshing morning. When I open the window, the clear, cold air is invigorating. The mornings in Tokyo have nothing on this. Toko, it's a gorgeous day. I call it to Toko, still wrapped up inside the futon. Yeah. If we don't get a move on, we won't be able to get home. Hey, what's wrong? Toko's face looks pale. Toko's skin, pale white even under normal circumstances, is decidedly pallid. Good morning, Tokisaka-san. Not bothering to answer my question, she slowly rises. Hey, don't push yourself, okay? This is nothing. I'll be fine. Toko sways slightly, then lurches over. Watch out! I barely manage to catch her in my arms. You should rest for a while. I run my hand over her forehead, but it doesn't look like she has a fever. It might be anemia. It's probably because you were too rough with me yesterday, Tokisaka-san. Don't be ridiculous. I'll go ask the hostess if she'll let us check out a little later. I cover Toko with the futon, then stand up. I'll be fine. It's going to be rough getting jostled around on the train all day long, you know. Waving off her protestations, I head down to the inn's reception area. We're sorry, sir. You need to leave immediately. I'm feeling better. When Toko finally says this and rises, it's already past 10. Are you sure? When I take a good look, her complexion certainly does seem healthier than it did this morning. I really had you worried, huh? If we don't hurry up, we'll get stuck here overnight again. What the fuck is wrong with her? Toko stands up, unties the sash of her yukata, then gives me a look. Not that I'd object, mind you. Just get changed already. I've seen enough of you naked. I checked the train schedule at the jam-packed Kurashiki station. It's probably best if we take the express train to Osaka. You're right, we'll arrive sooner that way. I buy 2 tickets, handing one over to her. How are you holding up? No need to worry, I'm feeling a lot better than I did this morning. If you even feel a little bit sick, then speak up. Okay. Oh, but I might start to feel worse on an empty stomach. What, you want a boxed lunch? Look, they've got mackerel sushi there. I think it'd be great if you bought one. Toko pulls me over by the hand and points to the lunchbox seller's banner. If I bought one, you said? What about you, Toko? I can't eat that much, so I'm fine with your leftovers. I see. I suppose she's just putting on a show of bravado. If her condition takes a downward turn, we'll have to get off the train. In the end, my worries came to nothing, and we arrived in Tokyo safe and sound. Phew. Toko heaves a huge sigh as we get off the train. We were right in the nick of time, weren't we? The train that we just took to Tokyo Station was the last of the day. I'm glad we didn't have to stay over another night. Weren't you the one saying you wouldn't mind? That's just what I felt. The truth is, I don't have the kind of time to spare. I've got some business I need to take care of tomorrow. Business? Oh, your little sister didn't tell you? Tomorrow we're making preparations for Easter at the academy. Easter? Oh, that. Yesterday was the first full moon following the vernal equinox. Easter will be this Sunday. That means the art club has to prepare as well, but it seems that our faculty advisor, Vice Principal Seiki, won't be able to make it. And you're telling me this because? Somehow I know what's coming, but I have to ask. I thought that you'd have free time, so I asked your sister to ask you, but... Yeah, I haven't heard anything about it from her. It's unusual for Yukari to forget something so important. Then I'll be counting on you. You don't think that I've got other things to do tomorrow? Yeah, he's a busy man. He's a detective after all. Nope, not a chance. She doesn't bat an eye. Well, if you really are busy, or if you feel it's too much trouble, I can't really complain if something like that comes up. You sneaky little... How am I supposed to refuse when you put it like that? You aren't, of course. Toko's mouth turns up at the corners as she replies. I'm home, Yukari. Welcome back, Nissan. Do Japanese people celebrate Easter? Like, I think that's mostly a Western holiday, isn't it? Because it has to do with Christianity. I guess considering... I mean, there are Christians in Japan, so I mean, there probably are some people that celebrate Easter over there, but definitely not nearly as much in comparison to just over here in the West. Yukari greets me at the door, same as always. Sorry to skip out on you without any warning. Yeah, sorry, I went to spend some time with, one of your friends. I might have banged, we might have banged, no big deal. Don't be, I'm quite used to it by now. I don't know if that might be a bad thing to hear from her. The temperature seems to drop when she looks at me. I called Yukari last night, but I could hardly hide the fact that I was alone with Toko, all the way over in Kurashiki. Nissan, are you having an affair with my friend? Don't be that way. I bought you a souvenir. It's hard amber candy with an insect larva inside. I spotted it when we were waiting at a station between transfers. Such things were commonly sold there, to Toko's amazement. Oh, thank you very much. See? That's enough to cheer her up. Yukari's icy mask slips just a bit. She's happy with the present, even if she doesn't want me to know. So, I'm sorry about yesterday. Next time be more careful, okay? Phew, looks like I was able to make it up to her. Oh, right, and it seems that I'm going to the academy tomorrow. Yes, that's correct. I'm positive I told you last week. I never heard anything about that. Look, there's nothing written about it in my notebook. I show the pages to her. There's a lot of things about murder in here, though. Nissan, I thought that you never write anything in that notebook unless it's related to work. That's not true, but I suppose I could have forgotten about it. Yeah, it's half for work and half a diary. Perhaps you were drinking at the time, yes? I gotta make sure I write the stuff down properly from now on. If I'm forgetting things as important as this, that's a serious problem. If that is all, I'll go to bed, Nissan. Good night. Sure. Good night, Yukari. Yukari carefully carries the larva candy back to her room. Sleep does sound good. After 2 straight days of riding the train, I'm beat. What the hell is her obsession with bugs? I don't understand that. It's so weird. I haven't been to the academy for about 10 days. Nothing's changed. Then again, there doesn't seem to be as many students as usual. Of course, they're on spring break now. Nissan, this way. Yukari leads me past the athletic field. Going to the art room? Yes, we're making Easter eggs there. So that's what I'm lugging this for. Yukari's made me carry this large pot. It's standard practice to use hard-boiled eggs. So, where are the eggs? The seller was supposed to supply them this morning. Look. Yukari points to the entryway of the building containing the art room. I can see a number of wooden boxes. Well, Nissan, please carry those boxes over to the art room. With that, she takes the pot from me. Sheesh, so I'm here to do manual labor? Why else would we need a man to help us? Yeah, why else would we need a man? Yukari smiles happily as she says this. Yeah, you're only good for doing hard manual labor. You're not good for anything else. We don't need you for your brains or anything. You're no good to us otherwise. At long last, I've hauled all the boxes of chicken eggs to the art room. Huh, well done. Why are you here? For some reason, Tojiko is reclining in a chair. You're not part of the art club, are you? Who cares about that? Even Ayumun's here. Ayumun? After looking around the room, I lock eyes with Sato Ayumu. Is that like her stupid nickname or something? Hello. Hey, doing well? I haven't seen her since I took her to Nishizono Yui's grave. Yeah, I'm pretty good. Why are you here at the art club? I used to come here with Yui. Plus, I kinda wanted to try doing it. Ayumu runs her hand across the tools arranged beside her. I see. Yep, that's some great dedication. Tojiko, you're not gonna help out? Don't call me Tojiko, and I suck at painting. Ah, I get it. So you lack a sense of aesthetics. Where are you getting that from? Tojiko stomps her feet in frustration. You're just like a fucking child, aren't you? Tojiko, please bring those eggs over here. Ah, sure. Wait, don't you start calling me Tojiko, Yukari. Hey, you call everybody else some stupid nickname. Ayamo giggles at Tojiko's antics. It really does look like she's cheered up. Oh, so you guys have started already, huh? The door opens and both Tokos enter. So you really did show up, Tokisaka-sensei. Well done, well done. That's because you made me promise I would. Alright, Toko, let's hurry up and start the preparations. Sure. God damn it, I hate that girl. After shooting me a cold look, Mizuhara falls after Toko. Is there a reason why she hates me so much? Toko wouldn't have told her about that, would she? She might have her suspicions. She looks the same as ever. Well, that's the type of girl she is. Hey, Yukarin. I should put some salt in, right? That's right, a little bit will keep the slightly cracked ones from standing up. They set the pot on the stove and start boiling the eggs. It looks like the Tokos and Ayamu are starting the preparations for painting. I have absolutely nothing to do. I suppose that's inevitable, since I'm just supervising. You look like you're bored, Sensei. Toko calls out, as if she can't stand seeing me loitering any longer. If I'd known things would be like this, I would have brought a book along or something. Then, would you like to try painting, Sensei? Toko runs a paintbrush across the back of my neck. I hope there's not paint on that brush. Whoa! Your neck is your weak spot. Cut that out. I duck my head, trying to get away from Toko's tickling. Toko! What's the matter, Toko? What's with the yelling all of a sudden? Sensei doesn't like it. Is that true, Sensei? Didn't I just tell you to stop? I think it's best to play along with Mizuhara in this situation, although I don't for 1 second believe that she's honestly worried about me. She's probably overcome with jealousy. The boiled eggs are done. Yukari and Tojiko bring over eggs wrapped in a towel. Sensei, no eating them, okay? I'm not you, Tojiko. I'm not going to eat them. I wouldn't eat them either. I think it's best if you two didn't eat them, since they're old eggs that were about to be thrown away. Like I said, in spite of distractions, they set about painting each egg. As I watch them work, the spring breeze floating in from outside lulls me to sleep. The next thing I know, Tojiko's face is right in front of me. Oh, look, he's awake. Whoa! Yeah! I reflexively leap up, my head cracks against hers. Jesus Christ. Ugh, you blockhead. You too. What are you doing? Everyone's gone home, so shouldn't we get going as well? Yukari approaches us with a genuine look of amazement. Ugh, Yukarin! Sensei's picking on me! Nissan, you shouldn't tease Tojiko too much. Well, tell her to stop looking at me while I sleep. But I wasn't teasing Tojiko, honest. Could both of you stop calling me Tojiko? No. Oh no. Is it murder time again? Is it murder time already? I thought this was over. Why isn't it over? No. The murder is still out there, folks. There's still some crazy person killing people. The night is silent. Neither the racket from the people out flower gazing nor the roar of trains rumbling over the tracks reach this place. It's an optimal environment where I can concentrate on my work without feeling constrained by anything. The moonlight shining through the window clearly illuminates the girl laid out on the table. Her skin is exquisite, white, translucent, and smooth. Leather straps affixed to the table bind her body, neck, head, arms, and legs. Now, let the ceremony begin. First of all, we must remove the unnecessary obstructions. I have to remove the parts that she lacks. Should I use an axe, a carving knife, or a saw? A saw will leave a fine surface. A little work with a plane and rasp and viola. However, it will also take quite a bit of time. Also, there are the shavings to be considered. The shavings? What? The carving knife, then. It's good for slicing through flesh. Unfortunately, it's inadequate for cutting through bones. I suppose the axe I used before is best. I bring over the adze. The weight of the blade is comfortable. My hand is quite used to it. The arms first, or the legs. Should I cut off the legs first and then drain the blood? Or I could cut the arms off and dress her like the Venus de Milo. Let's start with the legs. It's better to remove those great encumbrances first. So this is kind of like the same MO as the last person. It's almost like you'd think that it's the same person doing this, but it's really not. I raise the axe, then bring it down at the base of her right thigh. Thunk. It meets hard resistance, and crimson blood spurts forth. Also, because of the way he describes the body, you'd also think it might be well, not Tojiko, I mean, Toko. Because she's described as having, like, white, translucent skin. Damn, I have to strike harder, or I won't cut through the bone. The girl opens her eyes. How the fuck is she even still conscious? Her mouth opens and closes like a carp begging for food. Hideous. I was right to choose her to be remade. I cut off a slice of flesh from her femur and stuff it into her mouth. This will do. I don't care if she swallows it. There's a lot more where that came from, after all. I go back to work on detaching her leg. I guess I'll have no choice but to use the saw. Oof. I place the serrated blade on the bone, visible through the rent in her flesh, and pull. Bone dust is produced as I saw back and forth, but it instantly gets reabsorbed into her blood and flesh. Now I see. If this method will reduce the residue, then from now on I'll use the saw. I've removed her right leg. Next is the left. The saw's teeth bite into her flesh. The edge binds, making it difficult to move. With each motion back and forth, her flesh pulls with the blade, making ragged tears in the skin. I knew I needed a rasp. The wounds become tattered. In the end, I resort to the carving knife, and finally finish separating all 4 limbs. I hear sparrows chirping outside. I suppose dawn is approaching. The girl's already ceased her cries. That's right. For the finishing touch, I'll use some clay. On the previous one, I had left her flesh as it was, but the result was ugly. I'll coat the surface of her wounds with this white clay, paper clay. With this, I'm sure it'll be easy to remodel her face. So instead of cutting into her stomach and taking out her uterus, this time we're just cutting out her limbs and putting clay over them. Song 10, The Maze Murders. Well, we're back to this again, back to the gruesome murders. The boy dreamed the exact same dream every night. In his dream, he went to meet his mother in heaven. The boy set out through the forest toward heaven. But, as he walked along the road, after a while he sensed that something was approaching from behind. He spun around, but didn't see anything. There was nothing but the darkness of the forest, closing in on all sides. Feeling a sense of dread, the boy broke into a run. He had heard that heaven and hell were neighbors. The boy was terrified that he might have strayed into hell. Thinking that made the darkness behind him seem monstrous, he sped up his pace still further. He kept going and going, but couldn't distance himself from the darkness. If anything, it seemed to be growing deeper. The boy kept on running. He pushed his way through the brush. Tree roots snatched at his feet, tripping him, but he frantically continued. And yet the darkness closed in right behind him. His foot caught in a hole in the earth. The boy tumbled to the ground. Intense pain shot through his ankle. The darkness settled over him, obscuring everything beyond the tip of his nose. The boy woke up crying. He was in a dark room. He had a really scary dream, but he couldn't remember what it was about. The boy curled up into a ball on his futon and closed his eyes. Somehow, he knew that the terrifying face was close by. It all started innocently enough. While she was making some fried food, some oil splashed out and burned her cheek. It wasn't even enough to sting. All the same, she got really upset. She put on several coats of face powder and went about every day wearing thick makeup, as though she were a courtesan. He couldn't stand the smell of that powder. That white face looked like the shell of an egg. She used to be a beautiful woman. That's what he felt when he looked at her. The other adults probably thought that as well. She was the boy's mother. His father was an eccentric man. He never properly exchanged words with his son. That's why the boy was always alone. Inside his futon, where he couldn't cause trouble to anyone else, was the only space in the world that offered some relief. So I wonder who that could be about. Who could the boy be? That's the real question. The gentle sunlight of spring shines in through the window. I open the newspaper as I drink my morning coffee. A country somewhere in Africa has declared independence. A small fire in an elementary school in Setagaya. I skim over those articles. Huh? A tiny article on the local news page caught my eye. Pieces of meat thought to be of human origin discovered in various places. Another dismemberment? I sigh. The newspaper article didn't have any specifics, but to chop someone up until they're simply pieces of meat. Was it some kind of grudge or something else? Nissan, I'm cleaning up, so could I ask you to move away from there? Yukari comes over, holding a broom. Sure, I may as well just head out then. I fold the newspaper and stand up. Oh, if you're going to Moonworld, then please buy some coffee beans. Got it. The usual, right? Yeah, thanks. After leaving my house, I wander for a bit before making my way to Moonworld. Hatsune's sweeping in front of the cafe. Hey, Hatsune-kun. Oh, welcome, Tokiseka-san. Hatsune stops her work to give me a bow. Uzumi-san happens to be here now as well. Uzumi? I peer through the glass into the interior. There's definitely a hulking Uzumi-esque form hunched over the counter. Kyoko's in front of him. Oh ho, so that's how it is, huh? Are you going in? Hatsune asks me timidly. Hatsune-kun, I want to get to the inner seats without those two noticing. Do you think you could help me out? Sure, if you go in quietly, I think you'll be fine. Won't that bell ring if he goes in? Hatsune nods, probably out of reflex. But why do you want to do that? I just want to do a little people watching. There are a lot of weirdo detectives out there. It's probably best not to ask who she's picturing right now. The door is slightly ajar, allowing us to slip through it. During an interval when Kyoko had her back turned, we make it to the inner seats. It looks like we didn't get spotted, Hatsune whispers, acting like she's enjoying herself. It's a lively expression. This is a welcome change after recent events. I guess I'll have coffee and some sponge cake. Sure, coming right up. Now, let's observe the two in their natural habitat. I take a look at Uzumi at the counter. He's toned down his usual boisterousness, sitting quietly on the tiny little chair. I wonder how long the cherry trees will be blooming, huh? Beats me. I have no idea. Uzumi-kun, did you go flower watching? Nah, I don't have time for that. You're still busy? Yeah. Wow, what a flat conversation they're having. Jesus Christ. Uzumi is like, Uzumi, this is why I can't get any of that, Kyoko. You're just really boring. You're not a good conversation partner. You're just like, yeah, I'm all business all the time. I just have a stick up my ass. Thanks for waiting. Hatsune arrives, carrying a cup of coffee. Ah, thanks. Why aren't you speaking up? Hatsune asks me curiously as she sets down the plate of sponge cake. That guy, Uzumi, he's in love with Kyoko. Eh? Seriously? If it's about work, he could talk your ear off, but at times like this, he's completely tongue-tied. Oh, I knew he came over pretty often, but... How does he act when I'm not around? Well... Oh, if it isn't Tokisaka-kun, so you came. Kyoko notices me just before Hatsune can answer. Yeah, pardon the intrusion. Reiji! What the hell are you doing here? What are you all panicked about? You bastard! When did you come in? Don't worry, I just got here. Ugh! You're blushing, man. Did you catch a cold or something? Oh, are you alright, Uzumi-kun? Busy as you are, you need to take good care of yourself. I know. Even his ears are burning red. Well, I think I've abused him enough for one morning. How have things been lately, Uzumi? It's all the same. No change from the usual. Uzumi puts a cigarette in his mouth. Soon as I finish one case, another comes in. Hey, that's not so bad. Look at me. I've got nothing but free time. Oh, don't tell him that. Should I give you some work to do then? I'll pass for now. I'm going to savor my time off, and I've got one job I need to take care of. Toko's request is still open. If I don't do a little investigation on that, she might start sulking. Oh, right. What's going on with Kusaka? No idea. He hasn't said a word, aside from his initial statement. I see. That case is closed. Oh, right. Kyoko, I'll take some coffee beans to go. The usual, please. Sure, got it. Give me a moment, okay? After paying for the coffee beans, I head outside. Well then, I guess I'll go home, kick back, and read a book. That sounds boring. As I head away from Kichijoji Station, I see a familiar face and stop. It's Mizuhara Toko. She's trudging along, eyes fixed on the ground. She's carrying a sketchbook. I suppose she was out drawing or something. That said, she's not looking too good. Granted, she hardly gives a lively impression to begin with, but all the same. Mizuhara-san. Before I know it, I'm calling out to her. Ah! Mizuhara's face snaps up, and she struggles to speak. I can see something sparkle slightly in the corner of her eyes. What's wrong? Nothing at all. Mizuhara turns her face away. That's easy to say, but I can't just ignore it when someone I know is crying. I'm not crying. She's adopted her usual stubborn posture. Look, I know you don't like me, and I don't expect you to trust me, but what do you have to lose by talking a little? Toko wasn't there. Kuchiki-san? My heart gives a momentary twinge. I made a promise with Toko that we'd draw at the academy today, but she didn't come. That's worrying. She might not be feeling well again. Why don't we go to Kuchiki-san's house then? Huh? Well, aren't you worried, Mizuhara-san? I am, but... Then that settles it. It's not far, so follow me. I'm being more forceful than I like, but if I don't do this, she'll never take my advice. This is why I don't want to talk to you. Despite her words, Mizuhara trails along silently behind me. I don't know what the hell her problem is. We cut through the park, now abloom with cherry blossoms, and arrive at Toko's house. This is her house? You'd think that she's been to her house before. Mizuhara eagerly takes in the surroundings. It must be the first time she's been here. Watching her out of the corner of my eye, I press the doorbell at the entryway. Huh? I wait for a while, but nobody comes to greet us. I suppose they're away from home. Toko's uncle Fumiya is probably at the clinic. Mizuhara-san, could you wait here for a little while? Sure. At that moment, the door opens. Sensei. And Toko too? Toko! Before I can even say anything, Mizuhara runs over to Toko. Are you okay? Oh no, look, you look so pale. Well, Sensei and Toko, huh? You guys make a rather odd pair. Toko tries to make a joke of the situation. I felt kind of sick, so I was sleeping for a bit. Then you should get to bed, or... Yeah, I'm sorry about today, Toko, for making a promise not going. No, it's not your fault, Toko. Mizuhara shakes her head. Go get some rest, Kuchiki-san. Sure, I know that, Tokisaka-sensei. Toko nods obediently. I hear the clopping of wooden sandals approaching from the direction of the clinic. Toko-chan, it's about time for your check... Oh, if it isn't Tokisaka-sensei. Hello. I incline my head to Fumiya. Has something happened? Nah, Mizuhara-san here said that she wanted to pay your niece a visit. Oh, so that's what it was. Thanks for coming all the way over here. Not at all. Well, I have to go and get a checkup. Toko, you should have Sensei walk you back. Toko, take good care of yourself. Thanks, Toko. After saying that, Toko darts a quick glance in my direction before Fumiya leads her off toward the clinic. Let's go, Mizuhara-san. She doesn't reply, but follows silently along behind me. After leaving the Kuchiki residence, I walk to the park. Mizuhara remains behind me. Sensei. I turn upon hearing her voice. She stands back, keeping a short distance between us. What's up? Sensei, how do you feel about Toko? How? What do you mean? Don't play dumb with me, she yells suddenly, with uncharacteristic force. Toko was so happy when she told me about her trip to Kurashiki. You went with her, right? I was just a chaperone. Isn't that just an excuse? I'm wondering that myself, but I can hardly tell her the truth. It could destroy their friendship. Please don't steal Toko away from me. She's all I have. Don't worry, you girls are best friends, right? How could I come between you when there was never a gap there to begin with? But, Toko, lately she's only been thinking about you, Sensei. You're probably overthinking it. You know how her mind wanders. But, there's no need to worry. Kuchiki-san definitely treasures you the most. She probably loves Toko much more than I do. Even so, no. I'm sorry, Sensei. Excuse me. Hey! Paying no heed to my efforts to stop her, Mizuhara turns on her heel and runs away. Damn it. It looks like she's misunderstood. Or perhaps she understands perfectly. I can try to dress it up however I like, but Toko and I slept together, and that can't be denied. I'm too old to call it love or affection, but they have it rough at their age. And all I can come up with is the sort of line an old geezer would say. How pathetic is that? I realize that it's evening. So, what shall I do now? Oh man, we actually have free time. Free time to do what? Well, obviously free time to go to Takashiro Hospital. Oh great. The one place I definitely want to visit. Let's visit the crazy cat woman. I've arrived at Tokidano Baba. Again, say that 3 times fast. I still can't fucking say it correctly. The cherry trees in this area have also started blooming, but not a single one of the trees around Takashiro Hospital have flowered. What is this, some kind of parallel universe? Huh? There's a sign hung on the door. Let's see. Out? It looks like she's not here. I guess I'll come back late. Wait a minute. I noticed some fine print on the lower portion of the sign. P.S. Catering service. Enter from the back, please. What the hell? Quite a deceptive show of pretending to be away. Well, if she's gonna go that far, I suppose there's no need for me to barge in and intrude. Let's get out of here. So that was fucking pointless, god damn it. Like I said, I've been looking at a guide and they just told me to go here. Okay, so the next place we should go to is the Tokyo Metropolitan Art Museum. Let's go pay a visit to the weird girl, the other weird girl. I've arrived at Ueno. I think Stella should be around. She's sitting in a chair in a corner of the art museum. Hey, Estella. She looks up at me curiously. We've met before. I'm Tokisaka Reiji. I start by giving her my name. That's right. Reiji. You've remembered me? Yes, of course. She doesn't have the slightest clue who I am. Right. Do you know anything about the dismemberment that's recently occurred in Tokyo? I don't eat meat. Ew. Why the hell do you think about that when you talk about a dismemberment? That's not what I was... I suppose she's a vegetarian. I don't like fatty meat. Okay. I'll take this to mean she doesn't know anything about the killings. Then I'll be going. Yeah, this was fucking pointless too. Thanks, guide. Thanks. This was a waste of our time. Okay, bye-bye. God damn it. After dinner, I drink some coffee and relax. Nissan, the bath's heated up. Thanks, I'll go take one now. Hey Yukari, do you have a moment? What is it? What kind of relationship do Kuchiki Toko and Mizuhara Toko have with each other? After what happened today, I'm a little curious about Mizuhara Toko. They're friends. Well, I know that, but those two are always together, right? Ah, so you think they're S then? Huh? S, what on earth is that? Sister. S stands for sisters. It's the relationship between senpai and kohai, but you could probably use it to describe really, really good friends. Like you and Tojiko? It's different from what Suzuriko and I have. Let's see, it's a bond that's more mental or emotional. It's kind of like the relationship a male and female lover might have. So they're lesbians. So that's why she urged me not to take Toko from her. Good grief, I have no idea what's going on in the minds of young ladies nowadays. I don't think you ever understood the female mind to begin with, Nissan. Yukari laughs. I turn off the lights and crawl into my futon. I've got to get started on Toko's request soon. Adopted, huh? Approaching the Kuchiki family directly is out of the question. I'll have to start by investigating her family register. Thanks to the post-war chaos, there are still some cases where the new family registration laws haven't been applied as planned, so I might not be able to learn everything. Even so, Toko herself was able to find out that she was adopted, so if things go well, perhaps... Well, it looks like I'm going to the government office tomorrow. I should get some sleep for now. And the nightmares occur again. Or maybe not. Nope, not today. Not tonight. Now, after breakfast, I drain my cup of coffee and stand up. Heading out, Nissan? I'm just going to check up on something. That means you'll be eating out for lunch, right? I'll have dinner prepared and waiting for you, so be careful. Okay, see you later. You know, our sister acts a lot like our wife. She just, does all the cooking and cleaning. I head to the city hall in Mitaka and obtain an official copy of the Kuchiki family register. I don't take a look until I've returned to Inokashira Park. The final verdict. Yes, Toko was indeed adopted. There's not much else to be gleaned from this, though. It's been nearly 10 years since the present family registration law was put into place, but there seem to be a lot of cases where the old family registers have not yet been redrawn. For that reason, the family patriarch, Yasutada Kuchiki, his late wife Chisato, and their son Fumiya, none of whom would be recorded under the existing law, are all listed. Furthermore, I discovered that Kuchiki Chizuru has no husband. In other words, she adopted Toko into the family while she was single. Why on earth? Well, there's a bit of a reason there. I want to ask Chizuru herself, but it'll be a while before I can do that. I need to find some way to get her to spill the truth about Toko's adoption. Obviously, the direct approach isn't going to get me anywhere. It might be a little roundabout, but I'll have to wait for the right time. I head out in front of Kichijoji Station. Due to it being spring break, there are a lot of students out and about. I spot some girls wearing Oba's uniform here and there. The academy prohibits them from going downtown, but I doubt that rule has any faithful adherents. It's a long holiday, so I guess they're all more relaxed. Oh, if it isn't Tokisaka-san! I turn around upon hearing that familiar voice. Ah, Katsuragi-san, was it? It's Katsuragi Shin. It's unusual to see you around Kichijoji. Yeah, I'm here because I wanted to change things up a bit. Right now I'm in the midst of a new work. Oh, but let's not stand around and talk. Shall we go somewhere? Well, there's a nice cafe nearby. If he wants to go and sit down, there must be something he wants to talk about. It might be about the Kusaka slangs. Well, let's head over there, shall we? I can't drive a car, so we can't go somewhere too far off. Sure, it's this way. Welcome. Well, Tokisaka-kun, you bringing in a customer is quite a rare sight. Hey, give me a little credit here. I'm gonna borrow the back of the cafe. After getting Kyoko's permission, we head toward the innermost seats. It's not like I'm expecting a confidential discussion, but if we talk about the murders, I'd really rather that other people couldn't overhear. This cafe sure is peaceful. That's just because there aren't that many customers. I joke with Katsuragi as I beckon Hatsune over. Hatsune-kun, coffee and... I'll have black tea, please. Sure, coming right up. Katsuragi waits until he's confirmed Hatsune's out of earshot before speaking. So, what happened regarding the murders? Yes, well, thanks to you, we were able to solve them. That's good to hear. Great work. Your work, The Egg of Neonis, was partly involved in the crimes. That must be what he's really driving at. I see. I didn't write it with that purpose in mind. I'm not saying that your book is to blame. However, the tabloids and weekly magazines might play up that angle. The scary thing about that is, I might not be able to write anything anymore. After saying that, Katsuragi chuckles. Thanks for waiting. Here you go. Hatsune's brought the coffee and tea. Thanks, Hatsune-kun. As I look up to thank her, I see a girl in the Oba uniform standing near the entrance. Isn't that... Ah! Sensei's here! And she's seen me. No! Fancy meeting you here. No, it's not. It's terrible. I'm waiting for Yukari. And who's this? Tojiko points to Katsuragi. My name is Katsuragi Shin. Huh? The novelist? Tojiko's positively speechless after hearing Katsuragi's name. She writes novels herself. Her name is Yasumiya Tojiko. My name's Suzuriko! So we're peers. Even though you're still a student, that's amazing. No, well, I've got a ways to go. Wow, Tojiko's actually nervous. Well, give it your best from now on. Sure! Tojiko bows energetically. I'll be taking off now. Oh, and I'll pick up the tab. No, there's no need for you to. Despite my protestations, Katsuragi takes the bill. I see him out of the cafe. How come you and Katsuragi-sensei know each other? Tojiko sits down in the chair Katsuragi was using. For work, I went to see him about the murders, but you know of him too, huh? Yeah, I haven't read his book, but I hear his name pretty often. My editor often tells me that he wishes my stuff sold as well as Katsuragi-sensei's does. I'm sure your editor has his hands full dealing with you. And what's that supposed to mean? You two seem to be getting along quite nicely. Suddenly, Yukari's standing behind me. Ah, Yukari! Sorry to make you wait, Suzuriko. You didn't have to keep my brother company or anything. Oh, that's not it at all. Katsuragi Shin was just here. Katsuragi Shin? Yukari tilts her head in puzzlement. He's an author. I should have gotten his autograph. I'll ask him for you one of these days. Well, that's if I ever meet him again. Really, Sensei? Well, if you're done talking, why don't we get going? Okay, see ya, Sensei. Okay, both of you girls be careful. The two of them leave the cafe. As I gulp down my cold coffee, Kyoko emerges from behind the counter. Want another cup? Yeah, sure, I'll take one. I held out the empty cup for her to refill. Hey, Tokisaka-kun, there's space on that wall, right? I want to hang a painting on it, but what would be best? Kyoko indicates the bare spot on the wall. Paintings. How about one of Mamiya Shinzo's? How about no? Don't hang that fucking creepy thing. I toss out the first name that comes to mind. Mamiya Shinzo? No way, that's too rich for my blood. A tiny one of his costs more than 1,000,000 yen. Are you serious? Damn, that's more than I would have earned in 10 years on the police force. Well, Mamiya Shinzo's art certainly is beautiful. I'd like to have one of his hanging on there, but... Oh, right, since he's got an exhibition open at Ueno right now, shall I go and ask the prices for you? But I don't have that much money, you know. Well, it can't hurt to ask. I intend to go to that exhibition once more anyhow. I drain my cup of coffee and stand up. Who knows, it might be amusing. Oh man, we're going back here. We were just here yesterday. I catch a train at Kichijoji Station and ride it to Ueno. I pass under Ueno Park's magnificent cherry trees and reach the art museum. It looks like the Mamiya Shinzo exhibition is still going on. Stella, what can you tell me about all these art pieces? Inside, the museum is deserted. The display's been here for a while. I suppose the people who have an interest in his art have mostly all come to see it already. Stella sits in a chair in the corner, looking bored. Hey, Estella. She looks up at me curiously. Who are you? I knew you'd say that. Oh, Reiji. She actually remembered. It's lucky that I caught you here. I came to ask about Mamiya Shinzo. Shinzo? Not here now. I know that. Do you happen to know about his personal history? Yeah. I kind of feel bad for demanding this of an ordinary staff member. Let's talk about his art then. Which one of Mamiya's works is his cheapest? We have one on sale for 5 yen over here. Stella speaks fluently to me, fully in work mode, as she leads me away. 5 yen? Is there really one that cheap? Yes, it's a postcard though. Stella points out a table near the entrance with picture postcards lined up on it. Well, postcards are cheap, at that. If all else fails, I suppose we could stick one of those on the wall. We also have 8-card sets. Stella shows me a collection containing paintings currently displayed here. Oh, but you don't have Kara no Shoujo in here. Mamiya Shinzo never gave permission to use Kara no Shoujo. Oh, picky is he? I suppose he scorns reproductions. I can't deny that there's something fascinating about that painting, though. Maybe it's because the girl looks exactly like Toko. That'll be 40 yen. Stella's misinterpreted my interest as a sign that I'm buying the postcards. Whatever. I'll give them to Kyoko as a gift. There's the Kara no Shoujo. I stand in front of Kara no Shoujo. The more I look at her, the more she looks like Toko. Not only in the ambience emanating from the painting itself, but from the girl herself. But this was painted near the end of the war. The model couldn't have been Kuchiki Toko. However, if Toko is an adopted daughter of the Kuchiki family, then wouldn't finding the model lead to a solution for her request? The model of this painting could very well be Toko's mother. So, do you like this painting? Huh? I whirl, surprised. A wizened old man is standing there. How does this painting appear to you? How? What do you mean? Playing along with the strange old man's words, I ask a question in return. All observers see it a different way. There are those who place value in the materials used to paint it, who value the motifs, who see only the price tag. Which one of those are you? I think it's this girl. The detail almost makes it seem like she's alive. Her presence on the canvas is almost as if Toko herself has been implanted in there. I suppose that's another way you could look at it. The eye of the beholder is everything. The creator's will cannot intervene there. What he intended to express is nothing but a distraction in this case. The old man continues indifferently. Even so, I wonder what he was thinking when he painted that. Why produce something so twisted? Once again, I'll look up at Kara no Shoujo. Some people even see it like that, huh? But his words have made me curious. Excuse me, huh? I turn around, but the old man is already gone. That man, could he have been Mamiya Shinzo himself? I'm gonna go ahead and spoil it. That actually was Mamiya Shinzo. He spoke like he had nothing to do with it, but it wouldn't be strange for the artist himself to be gripped by those thoughts while he was painting it. Stella comes up from behind. Hey Stella, the old man who was just here. Huh? Stella inclines her head in doubt. Was Mamiya Shinzo just here? Shinzo? I don't recognize him. He's a recluse. Doesn't meet with anyone. Huh. I should go search for the old man. I'm going to go take a look around this area. Reiji. As I'm about to run off, Stella stops me. What is it? Please do not run inside the museum. It disturbs the other visitors. Got it. Yeah, that was really important that you stopped us to tell us that. I searched for a while after, even going as far as the Ueno station, but I don't even find a trace of the old man. Shit. Well, that's a shame. I think I'd best track down Mamiya Shinzo. I'll ask Uzumi. The police should be able to investigate him. Or they would if it were related to the murders. I wonder if the police will take action on an unrelated request. Huh? Just cut it out! What the fuck? It's Mitsuhara Toko. She's scolding someone in a louder voice than I've ever heard her use. It looks like it's her mother. Since I'm a fair distance away, I'm not sure what they're talking about. Mizuhara lowers her voice to some extent, making it harder still. Even so, I can see from her furious demeanor that she's still arguing with the other person. I told you, mother! Just stay away from me! With that, Mizuhara storms off to the station, not even waiting for her mother's reply. Chase after her or don't interfere? Apparently we shouldn't interfere. I shouldn't interfere in family affairs. They're none of my business. The woman, Mizuharu's mother apparently, sadly watches her daughter leave, then, shoulders slumped, walks into the art museum. I pick up the phone as soon as I'm back in my office. I've got to get Mamiya Shinzo's whereabouts out of Uzumi. Assuming he cooperates, that is. I call the investigative department at the MPD and ask them to put him on the line. Hey Reiji, what's up? I need to ask for a bit of a favor. I flip through the postcards I bought at the museum while I speak. I want to go pay a visit to this artist named Mamiya Shinzo. Could you look up his address for me? Mamiya? Did something happen with him? Nah, it's nothing like that. You know I can't just tell you those things without cause. So it's come down to this, huh? Hey, you know, she wants to meet that artist. Kyoko, I mean. What? Nani? I've caught him. Hook, line, and sinker. Kyoko wants to? Well, I can't be telling civilians this. If you tell me, I'm sure Kyoko will be overjoyed. I can hear her now. Wow, thanks, Uzumi-kun. Don't mimic her voice like that, it's gross. Sheesh, just this once, okay? I'm sorry, Uzumi. It's all a lie. Mamiya Shinzo's house. It's in Hoya. Well, that didn't take him very long. Hoya, nearby Oba Girls Academy? Nah, the academy is by the part that sticks out into Tanashi. The Mamiya estate is north of Ikebukuro Line's Hoya station. His exact address is... I copy down the address he tells me. Thanks. I'll be sure to let Kyoko know, okay? Righto. Thanks, man. I'm really sorry, Uzumi. I head over to Ikebukuro and take the Seibu line to Hoya station. From there, I move according to the address Uzumi gave me. In the middle of an area booming with residential development, there is an isolated grove of trees still untouched. After just a few steps inside, I feel as though I've lost my way in a forest. No, forest doesn't do it justice. You could call this place a veritable sea of trees. Even though it's in the middle of the city, I've lost all sense of direction. The narrow path isn't even lined with gravel, and the tracks there are so overgrown with weeds that they can barely be seen. After wandering for a while, a ruined Western-style building comes into view. One would assume that this is Mamiya Shinzo's house, but it looks practically deserted. Even so, just in case, I go up to the entrance and try knocking on the door. No response, huh? I doubt Uzumi was lying to me. And yet, Mamiya obviously isn't here. Well, what do I do? Look around a bit more, or go home. I think we should probably look around a bit more. Just to be safe. I'll try looking around a bit more. Let's have a closer look at the building. It seems dreadfully gloomy to me, with all the windows boarded up from the inside. I don't see any gaps at all. Is she just methodical, or is this some kind of obsession? There's no sign that the entryway has ever been cleaned. However, there are several footprints that don't match my own. I can't tell how many people they belong to, but it's definitely more than one. Most of them were made by shoes slightly smaller than mine. I guess this place isn't completely abandoned. Without making any noise, I try carefully turning the doorknob, but it looks like it's securely locked. Is he there, or not? Stella told me that Mamiya is a recluse. I wouldn't be surprised if he was avoiding me. Guess I've got no choice but to give up for today. Well, that led nowhere. Even had the spoopy music. Once I get off the bus back in Kichijoji, the streets are bathed in evening's crimson glow. Well then, what do I do now? Alright, so where should we go next? So first order of business is Inokashira Park. I've arrived at Inokashira Park. Oh, that's... Toko is by the bank of the pond. It looks like she's drawing something, but... Well, this is unusual. Yo, Toko. I approach the two girls.
Yeah.
Hi, Tokisaka-sensei. Toko lifts her pencil from the paper. Whoa, sensei! Tojiko stands up from the bench. What are you doing? I wanted to draw a portrait, so I grabbed Yasumiya-san, who happened to be passing by. Well now, Tojiko's modeling, huh? What? You got a problem with that? Nah, I didn't say there was something wrong with that. But you see, Yukari said she had to prepare dinner, so she went home. Could you not move around, Tojiko-kun? Come on, sit down. Okay, wait a minute. Did you just say Tojiko? I think it's caught on. must be your imagination. Toko replies nonchalantly and resumes her pencil strokes. Yeah, I'm not really convinced. It's a great name, isn't it? Didn't Tokisaka-sensei come up with it himself? Toko laughs. There's nothing great about it. Ugh, fine. I'm gonna come up with a weird nickname for you too, Kuchiki-san. I'll look forward to it. What kind of name are you going to give me? Kuchiki Toko, so, Fuyuchi. Fuyuchi, huh? That's not weird. It's pretty good, don't you think? I can't believe that she's happy with it! Tojiko yells, covering her head with her arms. Come on, I'm going to continue drawing, so lift up your head. Yeah. Tojiko obediently lifts her face, still groaning. They both look like they're having fun, so I suppose it's best if I didn't bother them. Well, see you girls later. Oh, leaving already? You should hang around for a bit. Toko looks at me out of the corner of her eyes while she draws. It'd be wrong of me to bother two girlfriends when they're together, right? That's not how I see it. I think I'm the third wheel here. What makes you say that? Well, because Fuyuchi and Sensei get along well together, right? Do we? I wonder about that. Toko maintains a carefully non-committal tone. What do you think, Sensei? Not that it matters. I'm a teacher anyway. Tojiko-kun, don't move. Toko scolds her. Yeah. Well, I'll be taking off here. See ya. Sure, until next time. I feel like you're both making fun of me. No moving, Tojiko-kun. And you're calling me Tojiko again, too! I leave with their voices in my ears. Everybody makes fun of her all... Anyway, like, pretty much everybody who knows her makes fun of her. She's just fucking crazy. Where else should we go? Tokyo Metropolitan Art Museum? Like, wait, again? No, okay, so... Shinjuku Station is where we should probably go next. I've come to Shinjuku. I guess I'll return to my office and think things over for a while. After reading a book inside my office for a while, I realized that the light outside my window is gradually fading. I suppose I'll head home before the sun's completely set. So that was also pretty pointless. Hey, Yukari. After eating dinner, I call Yukari while she's relaxing in the living room. What is it, Nissan? Do you know anything about Mamiya Shinzo? He's been on my mind since this afternoon. Yukari might know something since she's in the art club. Mamiya Shinzo, you say? Yukari puts a finger to her chin and ponders. I line up the picture postcards I bought this afternoon on the table. They all have beautiful brushwork, I suppose. I really have no idea. That's right. I'm not that familiar with him. However, the vice principal might know something. Vice Principal Seiki? Right, he's the advisor to the art club. Yes, and furthermore, it seems that the vice principal was an artist back in the day. He might have socialized with Mamiya Shinzo back then. Has he said anything about that before? No, not that I've heard. I see. It looks like I should go have a talk with him. But before that, I'll pay another visit to the Mamiya estate in Hoya tomorrow. Sounds like fun.